Hello, everyone, and welcome to No Buts About It. One more domino has fallen in the wide receiver market, and it is the biggest domino, and that is Justin Jefferson has been extended by the Minnesota Vikings. How does this affect the wide receiver market? What does the contract look like? And most importantly, for Bengals fans out there, how does this affect Jamar Chase? We're going to talk about that and a little bit more coming up next on No Buts About It. Hello, everyone. As I said at the top of the show, this is No Buts About It, and I am your host, Josh Butts. Thank you for joining us if you are new. This video might not be super long. It might go a little bit longer than I expect. I don't really know. As those who have been around for a while, these things are pretty much unscripted. All I have is the numbers and the facts and my opinions. How long I go, that's kind of an unknown. That's what makes things fun. Before we get started, if you could hit subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. But let's get into it. With no further ado, Justin Jefferson, his contract is a big one. He got paid $140 million over 4 years, $110 million guaranteed. He's going to get $88 million of that at signing, $35 million per year average salary, and he's going to be a 2029 unrestricted free agent. So he's locked in until he's about 30 years old. It's going to be a big, big deal for Justin Jefferson. And this is a major signing for the Minnesota Vikings because this man was the face of their franchise for so long, especially now that Kirk Cousins is gone. Just last season, he had 1,074 yards, 5 touchdowns, and he had 68 receptions. Of course, that was coming off that injury. The year before, he had 128 receptions, 1,809 yards, a 64-yard long reception, and 8 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson has earned this contract and so much more. I mean, just watching these videos, you can see his playmaking ability on display right there. And they're not done. The wide receivers are not done resetting the market. Justin Jefferson had plans to reset the market, and he succeeded. But he is now the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history. He is also the highest paid non-quarterback NFL player in NFL history. And there is going to be someone coming for that number, that milestone. His name is Jamar Chase with the Cincinnati Bengals. But first, let's look at Justin Jefferson's contract a little deeper so that we can kind of see, like, hey, where can the Bengals kind of work around this? Can the Bengals even pay Justin Jefferson money to Jamar Chase? Well, Justin Jefferson's contract is backloaded. It is heavily put off. They're punting that money down the road, hoping the cap will grow as it has been. There's no reason to assume that it's going to stop. I think they're also looking at maybe extending guys like TJ Hawkinson, guys like Jordan Addison in the next few years, and they don't want those to necessarily cross over. So if they front load those contracts, backload Justin Jefferson, can maybe make it a little bit easier to spread that money out. So Justin Jefferson's major cap hit doesn't actually come until 2026, and that's when he gets a almost $40 million cap hit on that average salary. Mind you, they're spreading this signing bonus out across the entire contract. They're spreading these guarantees out across the entire contract. So there's only really 3 years where this becomes an issue. And I think by the time we even get there, it's not going to be an issue. There's not a ton of money that's going to be spent on here. They could also rework the contract. They can do things. But right now, they've got the signing bonus spread out. The guaranteed money's all spread out. And most of this contract is guaranteed. He's got $110 million in guarantees, plus his signing bonus. He's making a ton of money. The year that this would probably become the biggest issue is going to be in 2027. And that's when he gets paid is accounting for almost 14% of the cap hit. Now, the reason I think that this will be a bigger issue than when he is over 14% of the cap hit, that's in 2028 at almost $50 million, is because I don't know. And these numbers are all guesstimations, I believe. I think these are still projections that Spot has on here. But if this does end up being the money, I don't know if they are going to be able to convince Jordan Addison to spread his money out that much to where that 2027 won't be the crossover. I think the 2028 they might be able to finagle out of it, maybe rework Justin Jefferson's contract a little bit. But that 2027, that's a little too close to when Jordan Addison is going to want to be extended. And even that 2026 might be dangerous as well. He's going to make 39 million, 13.39% of that cap hit. But like I said, this year he's only making 8 million of the cap hit, 3.33% of the cap. And next year he's 15 million, 5% of the cap. And then it's in that 2026 where that jumps up to almost 3 times what he's making the year before. Huge deal. This is a great deal. He's earned this contract. Definitely. No one's disagreeing with that. However, like I said before, Ja'Marr Chase wants more money than Justin Jefferson. They have that friendly rivalry. They both went to LSU. They both said they want to get paid more than the other guy. And Ja'Marr Chase has earned it. Ja'Marr Chase last year had 100 receptions, 1,216 yards, and 7 touchdowns. So similar stats. I do think currently Justin Jefferson does have the better argument for a better receiver. But what Ja'Marr Chase is probably going to come into that room and say is, hey, before we had Tyler Boyd, we had T. Higgins. They were eating into my snaps. We don't know what's happening with him. Tyler's gone. So it's me. I'm the guy now. And his numbers may get boosted. We'll see what happens with guys like Jermaine Burton, Mike Gesicki, other people they brought in, Yoshi, Charlie Jones. That's still up in the air. This new Bengals offense might be something different. But I do think the Bengals have an advantage here. And it's something that I kind of realized when I was looking into, ironically, the T. Higgins contract with Jalen Waddle. And I was kind of trying to figure out how the Miami Dolphins were going to pay Tua supposedly 50 million plus while also paying Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle top 5 wide receiver money. And I'm still kind of trying to figure that out. But I think that the way that they did it was because, and the reason that the Dolphins are able to pay Jalen Waddle that contract, but the Bengals can't pay T. Higgins, is because the Dolphins have another year. They have another extra year to spread out that money. Jalen Waddle was a 2021 rookie, whereas T. Higgins was a 2020 rookie. Now the Bengals are in that same situation, same boat, same opportunity, where Justin Jefferson was a 2020 rookie and Ja'Marr Chase was a 2021 rookie. So the Bengals have that extra year to spread out this money, but they need to get the deal done now. They need to be in the negotiating room right now saying, okay, here's the benchmark. This is where it's going to be. If they think that Ja'Marr Chase is better than Justin Jefferson, then they'll say, okay, we can go a little bit higher. And maybe they put that all into a signing bonus and hot dogs get a little bit more expensive at the stadium this season. I think Bengals fans would be fine with that. Or maybe they say, hey, look, here's Justin Jefferson's stats. Here's your stats. You're a little behind him. Let's regress that. And then in a year or two, we can come back to the table. And if you're ahead of him, then we'll redo this contract. We'll see what happens. I don't know how Ja'Marr Chase's agent works. As far as I know, he's a little easier to deal with than T. Higgins' agent of David Mulugeta. But either way, Ja'Marr Chase is going to want a competitive rate with Justin Jefferson, and rightfully so. Now, I think the Bengals obviously need to get this done now. Mike Brown needs to be in the negotiating room right now with his checkbook. I don't care what they want to do. because there is another guy down in Dallas who also is probably trying to make Justin Jefferson type money. And I feel like he's kind of flown under the radar a little bit. Another 2020 rookie, that's CeeDee Lamb. Now CeeDee Lamb, phenomenal wide receiver. Everyone knows that. Is he as good as Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase? Maybe not. But he doesn't get talked about as much, at least in the media that I follow. He definitely gets talked about a good amount. I'm not saying everyone's just ignoring him, but I don't think his talent is necessarily respected as much as these other guys. And Jerry Jones knows he's going to have to pay these guys some money. They've got cap issues already. Dak Prescott is going into a contract year. Micah Parsons is going to want to get paid. CeeDee Lamb wants to get paid as well. And this Justin Jefferson contract did not help them out at all. But the worst thing that could happen for the Cincinnati Bengals is if you somehow let Justin Jefferson get extended and reset the market. Then you let CeeDee Lamb come in right behind that, and you haven't extended Jamar Chase yet. And if that happens, you're going to have another situation like you did with Amon-Ra St. Brown, where Amon-Ra St. Brown, the Lions get that deal done. They sneak it in, very talented wide receiver. And now Justin Jefferson, what he probably did was he looked at that Amon-Ra St. Brown contract and said, thanks, buddy. You've elevated the market for me. I'm elevating it for everyone else. That benchmark moves forward. It doesn't matter if you pay more than Justin Jefferson. The whole ceiling, the floor has been moved with the ceiling at this point, right? Amon-Ra moved the floor. He said, okay, here's where the standard is for my play. And Justin Jefferson said, here's my play. If CeeDee Lamb comes in, that closes up even further. Now Justin Jefferson's the ceiling. Amon-Ra's the floor. Jamar might want to still be the ceiling, in which case you're going to end up paying him more than Justin Jefferson. Or Jamar might say, I want to be paid more than the floor. And then they get even closer. And they just continually get closer. That's not what Mike Brown wants. That's not what the Bengals want. We will see what happens, but I do think the Bengals hold a slight advantage in this situation, in that they have that extra year to get things done, get the extension done right now. Jamar Chase needs to be the next extended player for the Cincinnati Bengals, or else they're going to be in huge trouble next season. Now, of course, there is that loner. There is that outsider in this whole situation. And I don't want to call him an outsider. I just think he's kind of different in this situation. And that is, of course, T. Higgins. T. Higgins, his extension talks supposedly aren't going well. Sometimes he says he expects to be back with the Bengals. Other times he seems to not be sure if he's going to be back with the Bengals. Just a weird situation, but we have seen this situation before with Jesse Bates and the Cincinnati Bengals. T. Higgins has not signed his franchise tag yet either. That $21.8 million, I believe it is, that he would get fully guaranteed, and he's not showing up to practice. So weird negotiation going on there. T. Higgins, maybe he looks at this and it changes his mind, or maybe he thinks he can get more. Maybe he thinks he's closer to that Amon-Ra St. Brown number. But there is a potential thing that the Bengals could do that I don't think they do, but they could. And so I'm going to point it out. And actually, Mike Florio pointed this out on his podcast. Because T. Higgins has not signed his deal yet, his franchise tag, Mike Brown could technically take the franchise tag off of T. Higgins and free up $21.8 million or whatever that tag is. That would make extending Jamar Chase a lot easier, especially with that extra year to spread it out. You got that fifth year option as well that they've already taken up for him. So does that happen? Do the Cincinnati Bengals drop T. Higgins and just cut their losses? I don't think so. It is a huge possibility that they just let him play on the franchise tag if he does decide to sign it, and then just let him walk next year. We saw that happen with Jesse Bates. Almost this exact same thing happened. We saw Jesse Bates want an extension. Jesse Bates refused to sign the franchise tag. Uh, Regular season comes around. He signs it. Mind you, this entire time there's media war stuff going on with David Malagueta. He loves to do. Uh, I assume it's him. He loves to do war through the media, negotiate through the media. I assume he's the one pushing this information to Adam Schefter. Maybe it's not, but that's who I'm going to uh, put it on right now until I'm told otherwise or proven otherwise. And that's why you kind of have these weird interviews where T. Higgins is like saying one thing and then the rumors are saying another thing. It's whatever. Anyway, I think T. Higgins will play this season, but if negotiations are really as bad as what the rumors are saying, then okay, cut your losses, I guess, and bring in Yoshi as that big body. You got Jermaine Burton, looks very talented. Charlie Jones, they have a big wide receiver room. They have Mike wide receiver as well. And I love T. Higgins. I think T. Higgins is an awesome, is super funny on Twitter. I would hate to lose T. Higgins, but if that is really the situation, you have to cut your losses because you have to bring back in Jamar Chase. And I think that's what that Justin Jefferson contract is going to actually force the Bengals to do, is say, hey, T, are you coming back or not? Because if not, we need to sign Jamar Chase right now. They can't wait till next year. There is no waiting till next year. There's no reason for Jamar to wait till next year anymore because no one aside from Jamar Chase is going to get paid more than Justin Jefferson. I don't think the Cowboys pay more than Justin Jefferson for CeeDee Lamb. I just don't see anyone coming along. Maybe Tyreek Hill if he redoes his contract, but I find that very unlikely that they would pay him more than Justin Jefferson as well. So the Bengals need to come in, get that ceiling moved, get Jamar Chase under contract before that floor gets even tighter to the Justin Jefferson contract. That's my opinion. If CeeDee Lamb or if T. Higgins gets lost because of that, I'll hate to see it, but it may be a necessary loss. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Once again, this was a quick, just kind of reaction video to what I think in the Justin Jefferson contract. But let me know. And if you want me to do a more detailed video when I have more time to sit down and like really break down these contracts and these numbers, let me know below. But until next time, I'm Josh Butts. Go do something nice for someone.